Money FM 89.3, the best of your money. Money and Me on Your Money, only on Money FM 89.3.
Can you include your pet in your will? If you think of yourself as a responsible pet owner, this is an area that you want to start thinking about today. In May of this year, the Straits Times shed light on more pets being abandoned here in Singapore for a plethora of reasons, of course. Pet owners moving home after the pandemic, rising costs of inflation, pushing up vet fees or service fees, the cost of moving an animal across countries. Now, animal groups anticipate that this trend of abandoning animals, just discarding pets like they're trash, could get even worse. Animal welfare groups say the cost pressures are adding to the usual reasons that dogs and cats, even small animals, have been discarded. Like, the usual reasons. Circumstances at home have changed because caregivers are aging or children have developed allergies. The need to rehome animals has spiked for the SPCA, the Hamster Society. Urgent cases of rehoming have been spotted by the House Rabbit Society. SOSD are a local Singapore dog shelter. They work to rescue, rehabilitate, and rehome strays, and they say 197 shelter dogs are awaiting adoption. SOSD requires a minimum $30,000 monthly for basic maintenance, excluding vet bills and unforeseen expenses. That's quite a sum. So to help out, SOSD has joined forces with a financial advisory, Infinity FA, for a campaign called Paws Provisions. And we're talking about this campaign, hoping to raise awareness as well about estate planning and how you can provide for your fur babies even after you're no longer here. From July 17th to August 18th, so still a couple of days left, $30 will be contributed to SOSD's welfare fund for every will drafted in line with this campaign. So if you think, okay, it's going to take me a little longer, Michelle, than the next 7 days to draft my will, you can always donate directly to SOSD and the campaign, I'm sure. To share more about the Paws and Provisions campaign and more about how to think of including your pet when it comes to estate planning decisions, I have Wilson Lee joining me. He's Senior Group Financial Services Director at Infinity FA. Good morning, Wilson.
Good morning, Michelle and Money FM listeners.
It is fantastic to speak with you. I think few people might know that you can provide for your pet because, in some places in the States, you can't leave estate to your pet. Can you provide for your pet here?
Yes, we can. We can definitely include our pet as our beneficiary in our will.
Fantastic. So not just a sum of money, and we'll talk about how to do that as well, make provision for your pet. But first up, in your book, Wilson, why should we include pets in our wills?
I think a will is essentially a document that we list down our wishes and our beneficiaries. In this case, we can include our pets as well. I think will is also an expression of love. We want to bless and also give clarity to the people or beings that we love. Of late, we have seen a rising number of individuals who are concerned about their pets upon their passing. So questions like where will the pet stay? Who is going to take care of the pet? What if no one wants to be the caretaker, etc. So I think a will can address all these and also give the owner and the pet a peace of mind.
So interesting. So you've had people come up with questions and you're seeing increasingly more people concerned about their pets after their death?
Yes, I mean, estate planning is one of the services we provide. And sometimes as we're talking to the clients, they have certain pets. And they are concerned, after they are gone, who's going to take care of the pet?
That's great to hear, Wilson. What are some examples of what could happen if we leave our pets out when it comes to planning for our estate?
I think usually as pet owners, we have certain ways and instructions we would like to take care of them. Certain pets have very particular needs, like, example, extra visits to the vet due to certain condition. Certain pets have special grooming needs. The list goes on. The point is that every pet owner would desire to have all these requests being seen in the event of his passing.
So as you say, certain pets have very particular needs. Some might need to sleep in the particular room in the house with the aircon at a certain level as well. I'm curious about this program. So SOSD and Infinity FA have come together for this wonderful collaboration, I think. Can you tell me a little bit more about what sparked it?
I think quite a few advisors in Infinity FA, we are actually pet owners.
Oh.
Yeah, and as licensed financial advisors, like I mentioned, estate planning is one of the services that we do. And we come across clients who are concerned about their pets passing. This collaboration with SOSD, Save Our Street Dogs, is actually the first in the kind in the industry. Mainly sparked by the core need for greater awareness of legacy planning for our fur kids. The main goal is for all pet owners to have a spare of thought for their pets when planning for their legacy distribution, so that the pets, will not get dumped or end up in a shelter.
It is great to hear that the motivation for this partnership really stemmed from a couple of you in Infinity FA really feeling for pets, being pet owners yourself. I think if you're a pet owner, you realize the bond and how they become your pets becomes so much more than just a plaything. You realize your responsibility to care for them. Let's get into the nitty-gritty, because we're all about giving people actionable insight on this show. So what are some key considerations we should have if we're thinking of including our pets in our wills?
Actually, it's not complicated. It's very simple. The standard way to do so, usually we provide a one-time gift to our pet and also include a caregiver to ensure that the person has the rights to continue the pet's welfare. So any funds needed to upkeep the pet will come from this gift fund. Any additional, the pet owner can list down very customized wishes, like how he or she wants the pet to be taken care of, what special instructions he or she would like the caregiver to perform, etc.
Very simple. Think about a small sum of money and think about that guardian, because you need human hands to disburse those funds. Basically.
Yeah, they can't use the funds themselves, right? The pet.
Not last time we checked. What happens if your pet dies, you get a new one, but you don't update the will?
I think the will can write in a very dynamic way. It can be either the pet that survives at the prevailing time of the death, such that even if there isn't any update of the will, there will be a basic clause to spell how the distribution and gifting should take place. And ultimately, we can always update our will at any time.
Yeah, that's true, but keep it generic maybe and say the living pet, the pet that's still alive at the time of my death, will be cared for by this guardian and with this amount of money. So maybe don't name the pet. Can you stipulate what kind of conditions of care can you stipulate for your pet in your will?
I think everyone has very different lifestyle and needs for each. So there is no one standard template for this. We have observed through this campaign that pet owners truly are very warm when it comes to taking care of their pets. One pet owner wrote in to say that, he wants his pet to be taken care by his partner only, and there is a monthly visit to the pet spa, which can cost up to $1,000 a month. And another pet owner instructed in his will for the caregiver to hand over the pet to a very specific person in the event he does not wish to continue to keep the pet. Because sometimes when life situation changes, the caretaker might not be in the position to take care. So who's going to be the alternate caregiver? So, we've seen some of these owners laying down very specific wishes on the pet diet as well.
Pet diets, yes, of course. That would be key, I think. But so interesting to see how far into the future really responsible pet owners in Singapore think, to the extent of, okay, if this guardian's life circumstances change, who's the backup? And then you can stipulate that in your will. I've heard things like people stipulating, I want my dog to be indoors at all times. I want my dog to be walked 3 times a day. I mean, can you get that micro?
Yes, definitely. You can list down all these wishes and instructions in the will. And also, in the earlier introduction, you bring out that, a lot of pets are being abandoned. I like to believe that, no one wants to abandon their pet. It's usually a lack of planning and clarity to all these issues. So we hope that all these can be addressed during this consultation of writing the will.
Well, I hope this spurs the responsible pet owners out there to think about the additional step that they can take when it comes to financial planning with their money for their loved ones, their little fur babies. Okay, do I need a minimum amount, and do I need to set it up by way of a trust in order for my wishes for my pet to be carried out?
Not really. There is no minimum amount. Anyone can just write a will with the standard basic clause in just two settings. We have both a will and a trust. Both are function very differently.
So you don't necessarily need to set up a trust, right? Is what you're saying?
Yes, you don't necessarily need to set up a trust.
Okay. Is it going to be expensive for people to come on board this Paws and Provisions campaign?
No, I mean, the basic will that we start is just 188, and part of the fees goes towards SOSD.
Oh, lovely. Lovely to figure out. On the topic of money, because that's what this show is all about, Wilson, how can the listener figure out how much money they're going to need to take care of their pet until the pet's demise?
Yeah, very good questions. We usually advise pet owners to multiply the cost per month that they're already spending and multiply by the life expectancy of the pet. Of course, they are free to provide a higher amount for any other wishes to pamper the pet. For example, I have a 3-year-old Shiba Inu. Right, so every Monday, I send him to school where he gets to interact with different dogs just to have a good exercise. And I send him for grooming every month. And if I went for a holiday, I will send him for boarding, right? And assume I'm not around, I also need to be very mindful about the caregiver, right? He or she might have to go for holiday as well, right? We can't expect him to be in Singapore, and maybe the caregiver also need a break, because I think as all pet owners, we know there are some stress coming from being a pet owner. So I cater all these extras and options for the caregiver on top of the daily necessities like their food, vet visits, grooming, etc.
That's a very pampered Shiba Inu, I have to say, Wilson. He goes to school. Like, how often does he go to school during the week?
Yeah, he goes to school every Monday, just to interact and get socialized.
That's really great, because I used to have a little miniature schnauzer, and the problem was he was so sheltered that he did not learn how to interact properly, and so he was very, very aggressive with other dogs when he went for his walk. So really great to hear that dogs can go to school and learn social skills. I mean, have you seen an improvement in his behavior? Why do you keep sending him to school? I'm just curious.
Yeah, definitely. I think one is to let him, like you say, not to develop anti-social traits. And also, every Monday is like, I know that he's in a safe place, he's having fun, and he takes some mental capacity out of my mind as pet owner. Ultimately, is to give myself a break.
It's a gift to him and to you. I like that a lot. Yeah. Thanks for the candidness. How long does he stay in school? Just curious.
He will get picked up around 8 a.m. and he will come back around 5 p.m.
It's a full day, yeah? It's a full day of school.
Yeah, it's a full day. Yeah,
fantastic. All right, we need to chat a little bit more off air about school. What guarantee is there that the money you set aside for your pet will go to your pet?
Yeah. I mean, the last thing we want to do is to set aside and, our dogs are living on the street, right?
Yeah, so people fight over money all the time when it comes to wills, right? They contest it.
Yeah, and sadly, our fur babies can't contest this sum of money. Yeah. So the guarantee here is usually governed by the executor of the will. Just like any other instructions in the will, the executor of the will shall assume the bequest given to the caregiver for that need. If the pet owner decides to spread out the payment to the pet over a long period of time, then the executor will need to ensure that the money eventually goes to the pet benefit. So early on, we talk about will and trust. We have some clients who do not have one that they can name as executor to make sure that their pets are in good care. So in this case, a trust needs to be set up. We can actually appoint an estate company, and the estate company will actually run through all these instructions to make sure that whichever thoughts and love that we want to give to our pets are being all taken care of.
So there are options in case there aren't any other pet lovers in your immediate circle to take on this responsibility. You will have options for listeners to consider. Is that right?
Yeah, that's right. I mean, we sometimes do not have, we do not have someone trustable, but maybe the person is not in the position to take care of our pets in the long term.
Sure, absolutely. Is this the first time that you're collaborating with the local Singapore dog shelter, SOSD?
Yes, I believe this is the first in the industry that a financial advisory firm came out with such initiative.
Really, really unique. That's why I wanted to talk about it. Do you foresee more collaborations in future?
I think the demand is rather good. So, as you mentioned, there are many pet owners out there that are looking for a way to help their fur babies. And also a lot of shelters out there, they have increased this volume of abandoned dogs. So it's something that we want to address and something that I think through proper planning, we can reduce that.
Really wonderful to speak with financial advisors on such a unique topic. Listeners, you have a couple more days till August 17th to get your will drafted in line with the Paws and Provisions campaign. That's what it's called. It starts at 188, I understand. $30 will be contributed to SOSD's welfare fund. Wilson, great pleasure speaking with you. Wonderful initiative. Thank you for joining me.
Thank you, Michelle.
Wilson Lee, Senior Group Financial Services Director from Infinity FA, right here on Money and Me. I'm Michelle Martin.
Before acting on the information on Money FM, please consider if it's suitable for your own investment objectives, financial situation, and risk tolerance. To listen to more great interviews, download our podcasts at audio.sg or download the audio app. That's AWEDIO, audio at the App Store and Google Play.